This is lip stuff.
Did you ever just sit down and eat a chapstick?
You know, it's not in my top 10 things to do on a daily basis, but if it's flavored, I will give it a bite.
Welcome to 0 Hit Points, everybody. If it's flavored, we'll give it a bite.
0 hit points.
It's Wednesday, August 10th. I'm Ryan Miller. He's some man's guy.
Hopefully,
Matt Amberg.
Hopefully it's yours.
Are you saying yes?
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. Oh, Boston.
Oh, well, I can't wait. I don't know what's happening, but I'm excited.
Why is it? I don't know. I'll tell you what's happening. Everything has already happened because it's like midnight.
Yeah.
How late is it right now?
It's 5 o'clock my time.
Can we still do this? Is this? I don't even know.
It's going to be very painful.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm upset because I feel like for all the like encroachment of real life that has impacted the site and made it so we couldn't play games and annoy people with all that stuff, I felt like the podcast was a safe area.
It was our safe space, and
I feel like it was.
It became an unsafe hellscape.
What happened? What happened to us?
Well,
wait, no. Wait, now we're.
I can tell
are we
you.
Getting divorced already?
No. We're just going through. We're just going through some rocky issues. I think the big problem here.
7-minute itch.
Today, that I can clear up. I do have a salve for that. But I think today, I think the biggest hurdle you had was unspecified construction on a highway in the mountains.
I finally got on the road after like I'm almost there. I swear I can do this. Like there was a recall on my car. I had to take the car in. I'm getting on the road. Get on the road, and you're like, "What's your ETA?" Literally, when you texted me, "What's my ETA?" Like 10 construction vehicles on the side of the road right then. I'm like, whatever. My ETA is right now.
I like it. Let's do it now then.
What'd you do? I know you did something this last week. Tell me about it.
I did.
Now.
All right. I went to see LCD Soundsystem at Red Rocks last Tuesday, and they were phenomenal. Unbelievable. Easily. And I say this a lot, but every time I see a show where, like, my shows have been, in the past 5 years, have all been, like, exponentially better than anything I could have ever dreamed of. And
nice.
You know, like last year, from the replacements were, I mean, top of the top. LCD Soundsystem easily in my top 5 of all time. Period.
Really? Have you seen all these bands before?
I've never seen the replacements. Never saw LCD. Never saw.
You never saw LCD even?
No. I didn't get it. I was not like an early adopter of LCD Soundsystem. I wasn't there at the beginning. I didn't come into it until 2011 or so, or 2010. Gotcha. So it's been a relatively recent for me.
How much do you think that's figuring in? Like, if you had seen them before, how good would these shows have been?
Still excellent. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can disassociate I don't know if that's the right word. I can see.
It's not.
I can see what the like.
Also not the right word.
I'm trying. I don't know how to explain it.
Next one.
I guess I can differentiate between a band I've never seen and a band I've seen in the quality of the show, because you can base it off of things like, well, I count the venue, I count the energy, I count what did they play? Were they active? Were they fun? Or was it a by the numbers thing? And I've seen bands get on stage that musically, like, I listen to them and I'm like, these guys are killer, they're amazing, they're super fun. See them on stage and they're just standing there and they're dull. They don't put on a show. And not every band has to, but those bands...
No, not every band has to put on a show.
No.
It's preferable.
It is.
When going, that's... Funny thing is, we're not even joking. Like, there are literally...
Yeah.
I've been to enough ones where the bands don't put on a show that it's... usually they open for the band I'm there to see. But anyways,
so here's the thing. So one of the bands that opened for them, band I'd never heard of called Savages, 4 women from London that when they came out, I was blown away by these women. They were
really
phenomenal. They totally are that post-punk, like Susie and the Banshees. You can hear that. You can hear Annie Lennox and Eurythmics in them. You can hear, awesome. You can totally hear the electronic influences. You can hear where LCD comes from. You can hear like Suicide in that band. They're amazing. And
do they have like a thing? Like, do they all play a certain instrument, or is it just good music?
They were just excellent musicians. There's a guitar player, drummer, a singer, and a bass player. So just
okay.
And the lead singer, she very, very much so has a very unique voice where you can hear. Like I said, you can hear the Annie Lennox, you can hear Susie Sue, you can hear the Peter Murphy
Savages.
Influences.
Have I?
They've been around for a little bit, but I'd never heard of them. And the woman, the lead singer, she was like the other women on stage were very focused on their instrumentation, and she was focused on the crowd and singing, and she had this slicked back black hair, and she was wearing like a black suit she had like just a light shirt underneath the buttoned up jacket that she kept on all night long. Unreal. Just phenomenal vocals, phenomenal music. I picked up their.
I'm gonna check it out. That was my next question. Did you get some of their music?
I bought their most recent album. I don't remember.
I love when you go to a show and you find a band you like and you can buy their stuff right there at the table, because it's like it's 100% of the money is theirs right then.
Yeah,
like immediately, right?
They had stuff there. They had shirts. They had all that stuff.
Love it. Yeah, love it.
So they were fantastic. LCD came out, and like every song they played was something I knew. So much dancing. That was one of the coolest crowds I've been around. Like everybody
except for I don't want to bring this up, except for Hand on the Back Man.
Except for that guy. And that was we weren't even in the show yet, so that was like whatever. And it didn't like ruin my night. I think it bugged him more than it bugged me, because
that's the most bugging thing about it, is that he seemed completely oblivious that some people might be off put by that. No, not just everybody was okay and should be okay with like.
No, that's exactly.
It's not going to be okay for some people.
It is. So here's what happened, just real quickly.
Yeah, give me the 5-second version.
We were on a pathway up to Red Rocks, and some guy came up behind us with a bunch of people behind him that were friends of his. Obviously, we didn't know he was there. We weren't paying attention to him. He never said a word. They weren't walking loudly. Like it was just a quiet thing. And he walks up and behind both of us puts his hands, like he walks in between us because we were on split sides of the walkway.
Both of you?
On the lower back.
That's like a little too purposeful.
I was immediately annoyed by that, because I don't want people randomly touching me. And I said it like I wasn't even confrontation. I said, please don't touch me. That's it. And he turned around like he was blown away that somebody would say, please don't touch me. And then it was it was just a little friendly tap. I'm like, that's not okay. You don't,
because we're friends.
Yeah, I don't know. And I said that to him. I was like, I don't know you. Don't touch people. And he was like, okay, but it was still just a friendly thing. And then Beth was like, it's still not okay. And then
I think it's crazy that, like, I'm thinking maybe he touched you because you touch maybe one person and then you go sideways, and then you can get through. But if you're like, both people, that's like you just make it harder for yourself.
He didn't turn. He didn't have to. No, that's the thing. He didn't have to touch us.
Seems like it's more about the touching.
That's the other thing. He didn't have to. There was room between the two of us. Like, he reached out to touch both of us on our backs. He didn't, like, there was, we weren't blocking the way.
It's getting worse.
We weren't blocking the way at all. We were standing on opposite sides. Like, there's a paved pathway. We were on two parts of it that were, like, not paved. So he's walking down the middle of this pathway that's 2 people to 3 people wide, and he still did it. And I was, and then,
that's it. Did you keep an eye on him? Like, was this like a normal like, did he put his fingers in the next people's ears or something like that?
It wasn't
like, just
their ears, but yeah, there was a finger issue.
Okay.
No, but then, he started walking away, and then he's like, good vibes, man, good vibes. I'm like, you're an idiot. But LCD came out. Amazing show. They knocked out. It was funny. They came out and I was thinking in my head, I was like, they're gonna play Daft Punk probably.
Why
the first
wouldn't
three
there be FaceTime issues right now? That's what I don't know.
Because internet. I knew they would play Daft Punk real fast, and they did. It was the second song, and then everything else was just something. It was just great. I don't know. I listen to LCD Soundsystem and love them. That's what I can tell you. That's it, man. And I watched.
Did your FaceTime interrupt at all?
Yeah.
So did you time it perfectly so when it came back you said, and that's it, guys?
No, I didn't, but it worked out real well.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm sure you said plenty of stuff about LCD Soundsystem that I'll just be able to cut right in.
I basically,
and nobody will ever know the difference.
You won't know. It was just me saying the show was real good, and that the only other thing I did this week was I watched one movie, and I still haven't finished it. So I'm
we'll save it for next week. Yeah. I got 3 movies for you.
Let's go. What did you do? Tell me about
Warm Bodies.
That's the one with Nicholas Hoult and I don't remember who else is in it.
And the girl.
And the girl, but who was it?
From the new Point Break movie.
That's beyond
me. Helpful? No, is that no? All right.
No.
I don't remember her name either. She's fine, actually. Like, I don't have anything against her.
No, you just have everything against the fact that she decided to be in a Point Break movie.
She was in the
nobody should have been in.
Yeah. That should have been an empty movie. It should have been Point Break remake. Here's 2.5 hours of a wave just cresting over and over. Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
Just put a camera out on the beach, let it run.
She walks into the screen for a second and kind of looks like, oh, sorry, and then she turns around and leaves. Yeah,
ducks
my
down,
mistake.
Goes under.
Yeah, there you go. And walks out the other side, and it's back to the wave. No, she's fine. Whatever. Yeah, have you seen Warm Bodies?
I haven't actually. It's been on my list forever.
It's literally been my list. I say I have a folder on my hard drive that's like 20. I might be down to 20 movies at this point that I've just, whatever. I hear about a movie, I get it, put it in there. It's on the list. I'll watch it someday. This is where most of my movies come from. Warm Bodies has been in there for
a couple of years,
probably since it came out. Actually, yeah. So it's got to be 2 years or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It hasn't jumped out among the other stuff. It actually ended up being watchable. Like, it's kind of fine. It's Nicholas Hoult, who I actually like. He's
I dig
still a boy, and everything's about him.
It's true.
That's where I first saw him. I don't know.
About a boy?
About a boy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where everybody first saw
him.
You
got the joke. It just wasn't good. I'm sorry. My fault.
I'm sorry. I was laughing on the inside.
No, you shouldn't have been. See, now I'm just disappointed in you.
Thanks, Mom.
He's in the movie. He's cool. He's a zombie. He's not all the way gone. There are zombies that are all the way gone. So it's this thing where he falls in love, and that's the cure for zombieism, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't, like, it may seem like a hard fence to jump from brain eating flesh eater, like dude eats brains in the movie, like it's gory.
They do it out of love.
To kissing the girl or getting with the girl. Like there are times where it moves too fast or in a weird direction to where it is just kind of like necrophilia weird to like in an unbelievable way, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Munge.
Whatever. Is that? Are we naturally coming to Munge?
You're getting closer to it.
Interesting. It's inescapable.
You definitely can escape it, and I highly suggest you do.
And then King Kong. Talked about how Peter Jackson.
Okay, because there's like 83 of them.
There are, yeah. No, the Peter Jackson King Kong. Having seen the Skull Island trailer that we talked a little bit about for the Comic-Con.
You wanted. I know why you watched this. You watched this specifically so you could say you still thought that was the best trailer, huh? You're an idiot.
No, I did watch it to make sure that my feelings hadn't changed on that movie, which has definitely bled into my lack of excitement for Skull Island. Sure. But it's probably better than I remember. Like, I remember not being crazy about Jack Black, but that was when he was like, I feel like this is the first role he took when, like, he wasn't nutso in it, basically. Right. Which he is nutso, but he's not like Jack Black.
He's not Jack Black, exactly.
Orange County nutso or something. Yeah.
I love him in Orange County.
It's not bad. So I remember not quite catching that. I think now, more removed from that, it played just fine. Like he did good.
Yeah, I don't think the movie is it's not a cinematic masterpiece. It is certainly
but
not.
But it's not bad. Yeah, no,
not at all. It's a very serviceable King Kong adaptation, I think.
The strange thing is I feel like where it's the weakest is when it almost cribs too much from Lord of the Rings. Because Lord of the Rings is this, like, against all odds movie, right? Like the Frodo, like the halfling that takes the ring all the way to Mordor. Like, it never should have happened, and it, on its face, is a ridiculous proposition, but the way Tolkien works stuff into it and turns it into an adventure and makes it, like, very doable. You know, there's this whole spirituality to it where, you know, the destiny and et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
He gets a bunch of help.
I think that one of the things Tolkien does well in those books, outside of the fact that I hate the books, but the overall story, I think one of the things he does well is that there is always a moment where you know that he's writing he's writing that epic story, but there's always a moment where, what if this epic suddenly goes to tragic, and maybe they still win in some way, but Frodo doesn't. You know, maybe Frodo doesn't, and that's like, there's a thing there that Frodo is always possibly going to go over. You know.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's pretty good, and I think King Kong, when it tries to kind of do that, because there are instances, this seems like a strange comparison, but they're very early on. The special effects don't help. I feel like they were probably great at the time and probably top tier, but they haven't held up as well, and it's almost the first example of that CGI cinematography that's just, it turns me off real bad nowadays. But anyways, there's very early on, there's this they run into some brontosauruses, which I guess don't exist technically anymore. Didn't that? What are they called now?
Horses.
Yes. And there's this big sequence where they're dodging a herd of brontosauruses as they come down a hill.
Horses.
That then trip and like start rolling down the hill. It's just so overdone and like,
it's very Lion King.
It's pretty Lion King. But it's just too happenstance. Like, they're all just, you know, running around and they all miss it. And I guess a bunch of people do die, but it's just like, I don't care. Like, that's like a steamroll. Like, no, there's nothing survives and there's more instances like that throughout the movie that I'm kind of just like, it's too much, you know.
I think where Jackson's movie maybe falters is too much mythology on Skull Island for that movie. I think a Skull Island movie about Skull Island and focused on the mythology of Skull Island, that's fine.
I am really interested to see what they do with Skull Island. Yeah,
with
sure.
King Kong, like, you know, you kind of are supposed to imagine that Skull Island is not the most minuscule thing in the world. I mean, otherwise King Kong couldn't live there, right? Focus on getting to Kong and stop with all the other weird crap in the jungle. Like, imply it, sure, show little bits of it, but you don't need that scene.
Yeah, I would even say that you just don't need all of that scene, because I really enjoyed the Skull Island stuff, because I didn't even know or had forgotten about that aspect of King Kong, that it is kind of this lost world type thing. So it was kind of cool to see that built out, but every scene like goes on forever with that stuff. And then we can keep going, but the other thing that was weird, and I guess is tied to that actually, is that the whole like Beauty and the Beast thing, like when they match up again in the city, and the relationship is fine, like that's cool, and that's thematic, and it's a tale as old as time.
It is. Giant monkey loves blonde woman in New York City. I mean, they were writing about that in 12th century.
Well, but then they meet up in New York City and they literally go like on a date where they go ice skating for a bit.
Yeah,
on the frozen pond.
And it was cool.
And she's like,
my favorite part is when his giant finger comes down and she does like a pirouette thing. That was cool.
You're not far off though. That's what I'm saying. Like this, I feel like Beauty and the Beast as a theme isn't always like they're literally in love. Like, are they going to get married? Like, is that, if everything went okay and the military didn't destroy King Kong, were they going to get married and live happily ever after?
Probably.
Was that how this was? I think maybe there's a
do you think
tangential theme you could follow there.
What would his ring been made of? Like a giant banana
Coconuts.
peel? That would be his necklace.
Right. No, it would be. You're right. It would be banana peel, but with the coconut on the top.
Yeah, the coconut's
stone.
the ring. Yeah. There's the diamond. Yeah. I like it.
Anyways, let's move on to the best movie.
Coconut diamonds.
I'm freaking excited about this movie. So,
it's a sequel to Blood Diamonds.
No.
Starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Nothing to do with coconuts, blood diamonds, Leonardo DiCaprio. I got tickets to an upcoming show at Descendants, Youth Brigade, Swingin' Utters. Swingin' Utters is kind of the third. I didn't listen to him a whole bunch. Great. It's going to be fun. It's only like 30 minutes away, too.
That's funny.
I don't have anything against them.
No. They were fun, though.
No, they were totally fun. And they played, like I saw them in concert plenty of times as well because they were always playing with whatever band I was going to see anyways.
Right. So, tangential thing, by the way.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no.
To interrupt you. You know who's suddenly Descendants superfan? Daisy.
Good. Well, I'm telling you, I'm freaking excited about this, right? I found out that the Descendants had a new album coming out on the 29th, and actually the Bouncing Souls, which is my other...
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
Yeah, I freaking love them as well.
Sure.
They're the two that I've carried from high school and just will never... At my first job, working at... I don't know if I've told you this, so I want to see if you can guess it.
You were
Taco Bell.
I was seriously going to say Taco Bell, and then I'm like, no, it wasn't. It totally wasn't a fast food place.
Taco
I thought
Bell,
you were like
I would get my check,
somewhere.
go directly to Morning Glory Music, which was down like in the same shopping center, and buy a Descendants record, which kept me going for a good
week,
3-4 months. No, they got a lot of albums. Even
I know they have a lot of albums
before Everything Sucks came out.
But you have to remember that their songs are only 2 minutes long.
Sure.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of 3-minuters.
Yeah. Anyways, so I found out this new album was coming out, and in the process, found out that they had a documentary done about them in 2013 called Filmage.
Fascinating.
Right. It is fascinating. I will preface this to the moon because I obviously am a super fan. So diving into a documentary about them, like it's basically just filling in all this background information. Like you knew the songs, you loved the songs. You even knew because the Descendants especially kept the authors on there. Like this one was written by Ackerman and Stevenson or something like that. They keep all the authors on there.
Yeah.
Which I don't know I feel like I don't see that as often with bands, but I don't know. Anyways, nowadays, most bands don't even write their own music.
They're not writing their own music.
Yeah. Anyways, so it fills in all that information, and it's freaking fascinating for somebody like me. And it goes into also because I kind of lost track with them a lot after Everything Sucks, which was kind of their like growing up as a punk. I had this huge back catalog, right? I'm buying Descendants albums that are 10 years old already.
Yeah.
So the Descendants were kind of dead as far as I knew when I was a kid, when I was buying their stuff. I was buying a lot of music from bands like Youth Brigade even as well they're just done. Like they're awesome, but I'm just the latest kid to clue in on this.
Right, sure. I get that.
Then they got together for Everything Sucks, released a new album. That album was freaking amazing still, and I saw them for the first time after that, which seemed impossible, because it was the freaking Descendants. But then, I kind of lost touch. I didn't know what happened. What the answer was, like, Bill got a brain tumor, and they actually broke up after Everything Sucks and went back to All, which is the other, like, they just switched singers, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this documentary goes through all of that. It's Descendants All. It's basically the documentary for both of them.
Nice.
But it's just fascinating for that reason. And the new album is really freaking good.
I'll have to pass that off to Beth because she
definitely
tangentially.
Yeah, what's the story? Yeah, let me know.
So tangentially, she knows them. Like she knows Milo. She knows the guys tangentially because of
Does she know them tangentially?
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. It's tangential. She knows them from. She spent a lot of time. She kind of grew up in Green Bay and Madison, Wisconsin, and punk scene there was actually really big because the scene there is very small. So tons of bands would come through there that nobody had heard of or that had a decent following. Like You either play the show, get on the bus and go, or you play the show and then you sit at the one of 5 bars or go to all 5, whatever.
I got you.
And so she would get to know these people. Like, same thing with the presidents of the United States of America, the guys from Green Day. Like, these are all people she bumped into regularly.
So just because she was like part of the after party scene, kind of like she would go to a bar afterwards or whatever.
Her husband. So her ex-husband was a punk DJ and all sorts of stuff, and she had done DJ work on the radio.
What is a punk DJ?
He's a DJ that only played, like, he would spin punk music at clubs and stuff, whatever.
Huh.
You know?
That's...
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
No,
it was just kind of his focus thing.
Yeah, I can't reconcile any word in that sentence.
But because he knows... He was never a musician, but he liked the music a lot. And like, he's got a breadth of love of music, and so he would go and
I guess I've just never been to I haven't been to a lot of clubs, so
somebody would need
whatever, but I've never been
to
a club that caters to the punk scene or plays even exclusively that type of music. It just doesn't. They're all freaking house parties up here.
That's what it is. Except for him, he was the DJ. That's all.
Okay. You know who else was the DJ? Jazzy Jeff.
Mr. DJ.
He was the DJ.
He was.
She knows them.
They're familiar with each other. Like, they're not by any means calling each other. They're not Facebook buddies. Yeah, but
so did she listen to the Descendants music as well, though? Because this will be
she is
extremely fascinating. Yeah,
she was big into punk and hardcore and post punk and all that stuff.
Check this thing out, man.
Yeah, she'll love it. She'll love it, and I'll watch it because I'm not as familiar with the band. I've liked them enough.
It's still interesting. My wife watched this movie with me, and she's not familiar with the band. Also, we do not share musical tastes.
Well, because you like the Descendants, she's a huge fan of Seals and Croft.
Yes. No. What's that Seals and Croft cover band?
Afternoon Delight.
There it is. No, we actually do. I met her around college, so we share music interests from then on out.
Right.
I have adopted her ska library, but she did not as much adopt my
weird,
punk rock library.
Beth is like right in between both of you because she loves ska, loves punk, and all the variations on, like I said, post-punk, hardcore, all that stuff.
I grew up in the ska punk kind of thing that went off for a little bit. So I have Voodoo Glow Skulls. I have
Real Big Fish.
I never. They played at the first Warped Tour I went to, but I couldn't get into them.
Pete, I've always been a fan of theirs. Just because they're fun. That's like, if you want to talk about ska, obviously Madness.
They're fine. Yeah, they're poppy fun. Yeah, absolutely.
But Madness, the specials, that's the good stuff right there.
Yeah, that was the stuff I didn't so much fall back or get, because that's the back catalog that she was picking up. I was picking up the Descendants. She was picking up, second, third wave ska. So she has all that, which I've since adopted. I got the Toasters, the Slackers. We went and saw the Slackers actually once.
Nice.
They were pretty amazing.
I can't wait.
We play video games too now and then.
But we're gonna go see the specials in a few months.
Nice.
Can't wait to see that.
This year has been great for concerts.
It really has been.
It was a Comedy Bang Bang and
still
Flight of the Conchords, but still,
it's been good, man. Been real good. But we did play games. I played a bunch of games this week.
Why was there a long, suspicious pause after you said those words?
I don't know. I thought you were going to jump in.
No. I would. If anything,
okay.
I would agree because I played some games, but I got cocky. So more on that, I guess.
All right. So the first thing I picked up, I got a code for Lawbreakers, and I played that alpha for a few hours on a Saturday. Yeah, man. I said this a long while back. Yeah, I said it more recently, and I'll say it again. That game looks fine. It plays fine. It's dull as hell.
Really?
I personally am not. That's totally not a game that I'm over the moon for.
So then, what makes it dull?
It's just boring.
You may couch your terms in that of Overwatchness. So it's a valid comparison. Overwatch is kicking butt. Is not dull. This is still a team shooter, right? Like, what are they doing wrong?
It's not that they're not doing anything wrong. This is just, it's like, I don't care for the look of the game personally. It's very similar, like the art style for all the characters reminds me actually quite a bit of Paragon.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And Paragon is fine. It works for Paragon. It just is boring in this realm. It just doesn't do anything for me. The abilities are all whatever. Like, the assassin is the one character that is interesting, and she's only interesting because of that one simple mechanic that they keep showing over and over again in all the trailers.
The grappling hook?
The grappling hook thing. Yeah. That's fun. That character also beyond overpowered in the alpha. Like, she needs to be brought down quite a bit. And it's not just me. I mean, I was killing a ton with her, but everybody else that was playing her, you'd see 2 or 3 of them on the other team too, just bip, 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 all around, because she's super fast. The big conceit for this game is that there is a center mass to the game, like to each level, that has no or low gravity. So you break through a barrier and you're jumping way higher, you're moving around, which again, this is great for her because she can throw the grappling hook and pull. The other characters have like some mobility, but nothing like that. And there were numerous times when I would just stand on the edge, wait for people to jump, you just shoot them right out of the air because they can't do anything. They're stuck. So it's like, it's stupid.
So that has been one of the parts that's intrigued me more because apparently there is some form of mobility once you get in the air using your gun.
Yeah, you can.
You steer yourself by shooting in different directions.
Yeah, it's like rocket jumping without having to have the floor below you. So you kind of like you're basically you're in a jetpack and you just turn around and you move a little bit more.
Right.
But the thing is, I wasn't seeing like there weren't a ton of we're all going to be in the middle jumping up and down. The only time you saw people in the middle was either capturing a point, because there were only 2 modes. There was capture points where there were 3 points on the map. Capture as many as you can.
Tell me the name of it is capture points.
It's something like that. I'm sure it is.
It better be.
But it's like you have 1 point in the center, 1 point in one team's base, the other point in the other team's base. So nobody gets the points at the beginning, like their base or the other base. Everybody kind of goes to the B, the second one. A little bit of a fight there. And whoever gets that first B and gets their base, they've won that round. So this goes on until you get 13 caps. Somebody has to get 13 caps. There were a bunch of games I played where one team would just run it repeatedly. Like, you get 2 or 3 goes where they would get all 3 caps. So 3, 6, 9 points, and then we're playing catch up, or vice versa, where we'd get 3 caps, 2 caps.
It's hard to gauge that stuff. I feel like that's the thing that suffers the most in an alpha. Yeah,
all
exactly.
Alpha. So
limited player base, like everybody is starting ground zero.
Yes, but between the bullet, like the guns don't feel very good to me. They don't feel like they have any impact. Every character except for the assassin feels like a bullet sponge. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I was holding down the trigger through a whole clip. Like, you can see them getting dinged. Like, you can see them getting hit. And they would do the same thing back, and it's like, what is taking so long?
That's weird.
And then,
yeah, I wonder.
And the rocket, like, I don't know. It just, like, even the rockets don't feel like they have any oomph. There is no oomph to any of it. I do honestly. I think the game looks bland.
Actually, I've enjoyed the look from what I've seen so far.
I just, to me, it's just very rote, kind of sci-fi-y stuff.
It doesn't look unique, I guess. I can totally get behind
that.
And
so if you want to make the comparison, which again, it's not necessarily an invalid comparison, but the comparison to the reason why Overwatch works for me is because they tried to balance the mobility with the feel of weapons to give you a variety of characters that serve a different role. And in this game, you have 4 or 5 characters, I can't even remember now, that serve a different role, but ultimately all feel almost exactly the same to me. Like, the guy that is... You have 2 characters that are... One character has a machine gun, the other has a minigun. Their ultimates kind of differentiate each other because they do have ults. Everybody's got ults. You're still using E. You're using...
I have ults.
You're
have
ulting
ults.
right now.
I am. I'm sorry.
I'm passing through the iris.
It's painful, but
I'm experienced danquility. Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't feel very good. Like, like I said, there's one character with a machine gun, one character with a minigun. They feel almost the same. The guns didn't feel like one had more bullets than the other. Okay. One guy could run faster and boot. Like, oh, this was fun. One of the characters, the guy with the machine gun, he has a grenade that like stops everybody in that area on the enemy's team. Like, there's like an area of effect. It stops them from using any of their abilities except for their basics, like guns and jump.
Huh.
So we'd capture the instead of capture the flag, it's capture the battery. This is kind of interesting. Sure. You capture a battery and you charge it at your base. They can come and steal it, but it never loses the charge. So we actually had a game where for like
that does seem actually new, yeah.
For the entire game, we had the battery. I got the battery. It was my first game in. I got the battery, captured it. They took it like once. We killed them right outside of our base. We brought it back. We got it all the way up to 99%. They came in. All of them ulted at once. Killed all of us. Took the battery.
Planning that, yeah.
Took the battery back, and won because we had to respawn and get there. But it already had 99%. As soon as they plugged it in, it was 100%. And then you have like 10 seconds to get it before it like counts as a point.
That's what you get for being part of the 99%, man.
That's it, man. You just 1%.
It's messed up. Yeah.
Just be the 1%.
You could have won.
So that was interesting, but it was also one of those like after the second or third time that happened, and we did it too. I was like, that's dumb. That's not a fun mechanic, I guess.
I don't know if this is a word, but Overwatch is like micro balanced, right? Like Blizzard, whoever's working on Overwatch is like a freaking mathematical like game. Like Evolve was the same way, like freaking balanced to the T.
Yeah.
And they're doing updates and stuff like that. It sounds like Lawbreakers. The law is gravity.
Well, and that's their gimmick.
It sounds like they're not quite there yet with the balance, maybe.
And again, alpha. So I'm certainly not saying that the final release version is going to play like this. It may not even look like this.
Okay, so here's the question then: how much of a chance do you give the final release version? Is it too late, or is there still something that could be?
I will if I can get it into the beta when it comes out that's closer to release, which they of course will do, since it is a freaking online arena shooter. I'll try it. I absolutely will. I'm not dumping the game yet. I can tell though from the look that it's probably not something I will buy. But that doesn't mean I won't enjoy it. It just means that it's not something like I've got Overwatch. I've still got TF2.
Sure, yeah.
I've got plenty of other games that are coming out that fill this niche, and this one right now is doing nothing to separate itself from the group.
But it's not outside the realm of possibility that this game could come out and be good and be fun.
No, and okay. I have absolutely no qualms about the fact that this was just how I felt about it. I have read plenty of other people that think this game is the bee's knees. I just don't. It's just dull. That's the thing that gets me more than anything. The game is dull. The modes were dull. The matches were dull. Fighting, like even the battles were boring.
It's hard living in Overwatch's shadow, man. Yeah, like that. It's such a good looking and like bombastic.
Yeah,
it's well done bombastically, like.
And I do think a huge part of the reason I'm not into Lawbreakers really does come down to I don't like the look. I enjoy the more cartoony, fun aspect right now because
moderately racist, but no, finish your thought.
Because I know I'm gonna get into Battlefield 1, and that's gonna be as realistic as I need. I don't need that. Like I don't need that look because I only need it in one spot.
I hope they do. Now I just want like some sort of sci-fi DLC
crossover
pack for Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Give me some real anachronistic
Nazi Lawbreakers.
Yeah, they're okay. All right, I feel like we should move on.
All right. And then last night, I played No Man's Sky. I waited. It unlocked at 10 p.m. my time.
Did it live up to the hype?
I can't even tell you how thrilled I am that the game is what it is.
So how much did you get played?
I played a full 2.5 hours.
Okay. Did you finish it?
Game is done.
All right.
Just great experience. Glad I spent 60 bones. Galaxy was... I didn't know galaxies and universes were as small as they are. I thought they were... They are, yeah. I mean, I feel like the... like the bullet train that's always been a thing from the like the Americas to Asia. I feel like that's about how long it would take to get from planet to planet in real life.
Well, the bullet brain...
Bullet brain?
The bullet train in the game that goes from planet to planet doesn't help. Yeah.
I haven't used that yet.
Just turn off cheetah mode, man.
I have not engaged cheetah mode.
Mode, maybe.
I started it was great. I actually kind of simple, but I appreciated this. I've never preloaded a game on a console like that, where I was actively waiting for it. It's always been buy it and then I'll get to the next day. So this was kind of cool. It just went right into the game from that screen, which was cool. And then it immediately just, I kind of love this. Spawns you, gives you a couple of basic kind of pieces of information about what you need to do and how to do the very initial things. And then it's have fun.
Nice.
Figure it out. The game, I kind of love that the game is based around exploration, and one of the things about that exploration is learning how the game works. So I spent the first part of the game, immediately you're spawned, you're given 3 objectives. Your first quest is fix your ship, which is a 3-part thing. It's like fixing your you have to fix the boosters, the thrusters, and something else.
Okay.
So you start off with you've got your mining gun, and go.
You've been mining the gun.
Yeah, it's a laser beam that
shoot those minerals out of the earth.
That's exactly it. Every time you've seen it in your gameplay videos, he's always pointing the gun at like a tree, and you see the rocks. That's what it is.
All right.
You press a button.
I'm into that actually. No.
You press a button.
Mine
Later on, by the way, you have to get a mod for the mining gun to make it into an actual weapon. You can use it as a weapon. So you can kill like the drones and stuff with it, but it's significantly harder when it's not like an actual gun. So you get a mod to make it into an actual gun.
Okay. All right.
The gun, similar to if you think about like how you can run out of ammo in any other game and you kill a guy to get the ammo, in this game, you run out of ammo, so collect more of the mineral you need, which in that case is like plutonium and carbon.
Okay.
So I spawned on a very, very awful planet that was toxic to, like, the minute I spawned, it was, you're dying! Okay. It was just giant biohazard sign right in the middle of the screen, flashing at you. So I spawned on a very toxic planet and you have to figure out how do you stop the toxicity of the planet from hurting you. Well, is
this part uniform for everybody?
No.
Or does it... So you could spawn somewhere completely different.
Everybody spawns completely different.
Cool.
Not you could, you will. And you
That's cool.
And here's the other thing. When you spawn, you will not spawn near anybody.
Oh, because that's right. It is always online, generated. Even if it's a single player experience, they're kind of pumping it out. Yeah,
and it's procedural. Right. So what you get is
cool, man.
Going to be 100% different. I have seen other people spawn on toxic planets, but like my friend Tracy, he posted some videos last night. He spawned on a toxic planet, but not the same toxicity that I had. He had toxic rain.
What happens if you die?
So if you die, I haven't died yet, but when you die, there's that little icon that's on the cover of the game.
Okay. That's
your gravestone, so you have to travel back to wherever your last save point was. You want to travel back to there to pick up whatever you left.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how, like, I assume it's marked somewhere on the map for you. You have a scanner that sends out a blip that tells you where minerals are or question marks or things that are points of interest.
Sure.
But so I cruised around. I found a
What did you name your planet? Didn't you get to name it?
I did. So the first planet... The first plan, I told you I had a name in mind, and it kind of all went to pot because it didn't feel right for that. I had it typed in. I was like, no, this planet's just not that.
This is not a Boogerville 2003.
No, I ended up naming the entire system that I was in Chechnya, and the planet I was on was also Chechnya because it was toxic. The next planet that I ended up going to, though, was red, and it was a desert planet, so I named that one Arrakis, because Arrakis, desert planet, Dune.
Okay.
But I'm looking for... I need to find a nicer planet that's, like, real, got a lot of foliage, so I can name it Druidia. That's the goal.
All right. These are all... This is excellent.
So the first hour or so was on that one, just on the planet that I called Chechnya. I bounced around, like, it was crazy... going and I was about 45 minutes in, and I realized there's no way every planet will be completely discovered or even found
ever.
It's huge,
right?
Like, that planet was gigantic, and that was one planet. So I fixed my vehicle, and I was like, all right, I've got to see what this is like. So I hopped in the vehicle and I went all the way around the planet, and I didn't go all the way around. I went really far. And I realized I was doing this for like 10 minutes in a straight line, and I still hadn't gotten all the way around. All right, so I took off into space, and that was just incredible. That breaking out of the atmosphere into space, seeing, other ships flying by. I go up to the first space station that's out there. I've met aliens and stuff. That the language aspect is so cool. I love this, that you don't know what the aliens are saying because you're not a freaking alien. So you learn things by finding... you never played Skyrim, but in Skyrim there were these
another great space travel game.
They were these like obelisks that let you...
Skyrim, if you will.
that's what I was going for. There were these like obelisks that allowed you to pick, learn different shouts and stuff. In this case, they're obelisks that
get out of my car.
Yeah, they help you learn the language, but you're only learning a word at a time. So I have currently
watch out for that casino.
Yeah, but it's all out. That's all you see is the word out. So I've learned 3 words so far, all of which I've only seen come up in one conversation. But the other thing you get is, like, when you interact with
what's
the aliens...
wrong with these potatoes?
That's a question that I got asked. When you interact with the aliens, because you don't understand them, there's a written log that kind of gives you an idea of what the alien is trying to gesture or do, and then you're given options to either follow through or
FaceTime disconnected.
Woo! So you're given options to do, like, do you want to give him these things? Do you want to give him a different type of mineral, or do you want to just ignore him and walk away? And depending on what you do will depend on his response or her response. So they may give you something. They may laugh at you and say, that's not enough, I'm not helping you. They may say, this is amazing, here's a new piece of tech. You don't know until you do it. And it's super cool because you really, you have to take the gamble. Because you don't know what he's saying. You don't know what's being asked of you.
I don't know what you've been saying because FaceTime cut out, but it was beautiful and haunting.
Yes, that's true. So after that first little bit, after I went into the space station, there was another planet, and it's the one I called Arrakis, that I could see that was very close. Like, it was a visible planet. And I think there was only one other one that was near, but it wasn't as close. So I go ahead and just kick in my thrusters. Hey, let's go! And then I see on the bottom of it, when you target something, you don't have to even set a waypoint. You just look at it. It will tell you the distance and how long it will take at your current speed to get there. So your ship, for example, when you're on the ground...
Real time? Like, it'll tell you it'll take 5 minutes.
If 5 minutes, if you're running straight at it and you're not, and this is what you're going for. So, like, on the planet, I ran way, way far, but I realized I'd only been running... I'd been moving around. I was only 5 minutes away from my ship. Because I could turn around and look at it. I could do my scan, see it, and look at it, and I could see a little timer pops up, and as you get closer to it, it doesn't go down like kilometers, it goes down in minutes, or like seconds and minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
The planet was 30 minutes away. So I kick in my you have a warp drive thing, so I kick that in, but you have to have fuel for that. So I ran out of fuel. Thankfully, Fuel for that happens to be littered around space in the form of like rocks and meteors. So you just shoot them. You just shoot them.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say.
But you have to shoot them. Then you have to press a button and re-engage. You have to add the fuel. And then I continued on. I made it to the planet, and again, brand new planet that you haven't seen. Breaking through the atmosphere is so overly exciting. Like, what's going to be here? What am I going to look at? And
so wait, how long did it take you? It said it would take you 30 minutes not warping?
Yeah.
So
30
how long
minutes
did it take you with warping?
2.
Oh, okay. All right. Not a bad trade-off, but you had to refill once on the way.
I did, and that's condensing everything because I was flying through stuff and trying stuff. But it was exciting to go onto the planet and go, I don't know what's going to be here. I don't know what I don't know what the environment's going to be like. I don't know what the weather is going to be like. I don't know what time of day this thing is going to be where I'm landing necessarily because I'm dumb. But but I flew down on this planet and I'm just buzzing along the side and I'm like, oh, there's a settlement. So I go ahead and you press one button and you immediately start to land, pop out. Surrounded by creatures. There was like I said, I landed in a settlement, so I cataloged all the creatures. I got my save. I named the planet.
I don't know why that sounds so awesome.
It is.
I got down and determined the taxonomy for the indigenous life forms. That sounds great.
Here's some of the cool stuff. Some of the cooler stuff is that like when you do get like when you discover a species. Sometimes they have really funny things in there, and one of my favorites is under gender. You'll see not applicable, male, female, and the only other one I've seen, radical. That's the gender.
What? All right.
Yep.
That's also my gender from here on out.
It is.
I'm sorry.
So No Man's Sky. I mean, I if there was something I could say to you that would like that would get you to go out and pick up a PS4, I would. Hey, I don't know how else to entice you because this game is like it's everything you would love in a game.
Oh yeah.
Without and the best part. This is the best part for you, by the way. This is your silly meta of achievements. You don't even have to worry about it because nobody cares about trophies.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, I was gonna say that's I wouldn't.
It is.
The day I become obsessed with PlayStation trophies, like
I will take your PlayStation away.
There needs to be an intervention. No, something needs to be done at that point.
This is for every game that has been an exclusive to Sony that has been like, I'd like to play that. The Uncharted series for you.
Sure.
Last of Us. This game right here is the reason to buy a PlayStation just so you can play all the other ones too. This game makes it worth it.
So I'll tell you what I'm waiting for.
Penny.
The PlayStation 4K PSVR No Man's Sky bundle.
If you're going to spend $1,000, I support it.
That's all I need.
So also with No Man's Sky releasing yesterday, today, there was a day one patch. Everything that you had seen previous to Monday, everything has been wiped from the servers. Nothing had been discovered.
Your progress, yeah.
All the progress was wiped from people. Too, Everything was cleared. They also changed a bunch of functions in the game. Which
is the main reason I put this in here. It sounds like it's a day one patch to kind of end all day one patches. Like it changes the game significantly.
Yeah. So, go through it because I don't have the list of stuff and it was a pretty.
I don't have a
list
either, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's no list because it's substantial. Like it would. I don't know if it'd be worth listing. I just thought it was interesting to mention. Like, how much of a different game it appears to be.
Here's the one other thing I do want to mention about this particular game that I love. On the PS4, this is the one critical thing I can say. It's got some frame rate issues. I'm not bothered by them. They're not killing me in any way. They're barely noticeable. I see them, but they're not impacting me in any meaningful manner.
Okay.
So there's.
And if they do, you let me know, buddy. All right.
I will. I'll burn it down. I'll burn the whole thing down.
I won't have it.
I don't. Yeah. No. Frame rate. What is this?
This is
1992.
What husbands do for each other.
It's good.
Remember when we got married at the beginning?
It was good. It was great.
In the beginning, yeah.
There will be many more hours of gameplay here, so I don't. There's not a whole lot more I can say. I only spent 2 hours with it, and easily could have stayed up all night with that. No problem.
Cool.
And then the last big one for me, this is kind of huge.
Yeah. Did we save it all up or what?
I did. I did not. I did not mention this. I have not brought this up. You were the only person that actually knew. Sean knew.
What? Wait.
So
Sean knew?
He did. After you. I told you first.
Freaking Sean. Are you still seeing him?
No. I mean, we talk. It's nothing, Ryan. It's nothing.
Guy writes one theme song.
Look, it was a good theme song.
That's the best one anybody's ever written.
For us.
Okay. Can't stay mad at either of you.
I bought a Vive.
An HTC Vive. Virtual reality headset.
Many moons ago, I talked about why I would not get a VR headset, and the one thing I said,
I want to edit those in right now, but I
specifically went out of my way to explain that one of the reasons I don't is because I've had such a particular idea of what VR should be in my head because I filled it with movies. Mm. Yeah, and it was something that that was fun, that was exciting, that's kind of what I wanted. I got there was some things occurred and maneuvers happened, and I had an opportunity and I took it. I decided to, instead of keeping myself in that box, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to step out of the
virtual box.
I'm going to get into a virtual box. And I did. So we set that up. The setup was not all that bad. I did have to. Thankfully, I had stuff. I had light stands. I had tripods. So I did go buy a new tripod. I did buy a couple of ball heads, which I ultimately didn't even need. I needed one of them, but so I was able to set up the lighthouses without too much of an issue. The one thing that it doesn't come with is
that what they call them? Lighthouses?
That's the room
cool.
sensors.
Sure.
It does come with mounts, so you can mount it to your walls, but
nice.
I was trying to avoid that.
Sure.
Mostly because I want to have the opportunity to do either room scale or sitting standing, and it's easier to not have them set for room scale at all times. And this also makes them more portable. If I want to go somewhere, I can just take them with me.
Right.
It's easy. So the install wasn't too bad. The controllers are actually a lot of fun to play with. It is the weirdest thing to put that helmet on and hold the controllers up, and there they are. Sharing that with everybody was very cool. I was able to get the Vive early enough, and it's still going on. It'll go on for a little bit longer, but you get 3 games with it. You get Job Simulator, Tilt Brush, and something else. I don't remember what it was.
Super Mario.
That's it. That's
Paint.
Doesn't sound right. I don't know. Job Simulator is goofy. It's fun. It's a great use of learning how to move in a virtual space. And one of the funnier things is when you put yourself in a situation like you're in the office building portion of that game. So Daisy played it. I played that. We both did the same thing where we're standing there and you have cubicle walls, and you lean over to look over the cubicle walls. You kind of you poke your head up to see what's there, and the cool thing is it moves with you. There's something there. It was super neat. Tilt Brush though was the gold. Drawing, painting in a 3-dimensional space, being able to. So it comes with a bunch of backgrounds, and I was very, very keen on getting Beth to do this because Beth is an artist, and one of the things that I think artists have to adjust to is that you no longer have to fake 3D. You don't have to do certain lines to make it look 3-dimensional. You can draw the line.
Perspective, Matthew.
Yes.
It's called. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not an artist. Okay, I don't know what spectives are. But it was cool, and so there are backgrounds.
Your art
and stuff.
is theater. So.
Acting. So one of them has a blank snowman. Is a snowman, but doesn't have a face or anything. And so she pulls that up, and she kind of does the
draws a penis on it.
Yeah, on its nose. But I said, I was like, hey Beth, you can actually click in and pull towards your face, and it will extend the line to you. And when that clicked, like the grin on her face was amazing. She was like, oh.
That's awesome.
And it was cool to see her do something and then kind of look at it from a different angle and then draw more to it and then turn and draw more and then do something, and then being able to move around and look at it was just really cool.
Is there a way to share that stuff? Like,
yeah. So all of those can be you can actually make GIFs, you can make movies, you can make you could do photos, you could do straight screenshots and stuff.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So we haven't done a ton where we something we'd keep, just a lot of monkeying around with it. So that was very cool. We spent a bunch of time. We played a couple of rounds of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. That was ridiculous fun.
Okay.
Playing that in 3D by far, like playing that in VR, the way to play it.
Better,
And here's the thing that like I didn't realize this. I don't think when we played it on the PC was there are times when the lights will flicker and just go out, and on the PC it's like, oh man. When it happens in VR, because you're looking around, and when you look behind you, there's walls, there's things.
Looks like you're in a room with the lights off instead of just staring at a black screen. Yeah. I could see how that would make a whole world of difference.
It does. The one downside, and it's not much of a downside, but the one, the caveat to that one, it doesn't use the Vive controllers. It uses a regular Xbox controller. But it was cool. It was still fun.
All right.
I do have a couple games that I picked up for it that are horror-based games.
I was going to say, what's on the horizon for the Vive?
So I've got the Brookhaven Experiment, which is like zombies coming at you from all angles, and a game called Chair in the Room that is supposed to be more of a psychological horror stuff. So we're going to check those out, because that's my money right there.
You're a horror.
I am a horror. So
I can't wait. That's you got to make sure somebody's videotaping you.
I totally videotape Beth, and I videotape Daisy.
With
I can't
a
upload
VHS camera.
That's correct.
Videotapings.
Mm-hmm. That's all I did.
This isn't going to take much longer.
Good, because we're already like an hour in.
Wolfenstein: A New Order. I just started it. I don't even think I'm out of the first level. Are there significant level breaks between levels in that game?
Not really.
Okay, maybe
there's a couple.
I feel like I haven't hit a level break. No, I'm definitely because there's collectibles and I haven't filled up on the first level. So yeah, I'm
you go
still
back
just on the first level.
You go back to the hideout once or twice, I think.
Okay, I don't even think I know what the hideout is yet. So
it's like it's the place where you meet everybody.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet. So I'm barely into it. Yeah, but it starts out great. Like I can already tell they've got the tone. Because Wolfenstein was it was just that text at the end of each level, but still that text was fantastic. Like what was what's the one line? Zig Heil, more like.
Oh man.
Zig Hell, was that it or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Anyways, it so far it's got that tone down pretty well, so I can't wait to see where it goes. In addition to it being a game, which I haven't played in a long time.
I think the downside to that game was the collectibles were kind of awful. Yeah,
I'm having fun with them so far, but there's a kind of an RPG progression thing where you progress by doing certain actions. I've dove real deep into that probably than I should have I'm not even through the first level, and I've got like
what
almost
difficulty?
Half of those completed, I think. Or Uber. I started on Uber.
Yeah, so you want to get those up as
that
quick
was
as you
also
can.
what I figured.
There is at least one point that I know I got stuck on for weeks at a time. Like I could not. I was playing it for an hour here or there, 20 minutes here and there, and I could not get past it.
I got stuck at the PAX demo on that thing. That's part of the reason it took me a little bit, because that left kind of a daunting impression.
I think Wolfenstein New Order is is much more difficult than Doom was on the same difficulty levels.
Okay. All right. Well, so far so good. I'm gonna play more of that this week. Obviously, I got so excited that I had played a video game, a new one at that.
To stop playing games.
I thought I was so cool, and that's when today happened. So I think I got cocky, and I was like, I play video games. I can play them whenever I want. I play a ton of them. I'm like behind on all my projects now. It's hell.
You should get No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that'll help. Overwatch, we played some more of. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to Overwatch as a game? Any
summer game?
Or
no, they dropped the
just news, basically, kind of.
Yeah, the summer games from the 2nd to the 22nd, I think, or 2nd to the 18th.
3 weeks long, and I think we're a week into it. So
yeah, it's the only time you're going to be able to get the Summer Olympic skins and icons and crap, and whatever. So that's out. Some people are pissed about that. I don't know why. I mean, I guess because they're limited and they want everything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we played a little bit of Lucio Ball.
Yeah, and that's the game mode. Does that stick with the entire Summer Games event, or is that going to change too?
No, I think it's going to change.
Okay, Lucio Ball is basically the Rocket League takeoff. Basically, it's 3v3, and you're getting a ball and a goal on either end, and you're all Lucio. Right. And you should stay Lucio.
Most of the time. So some people at least on PC, and I know that it happened on I know it happened on Xbox. I don't know if it happened on PS4, I assume. Some people figured out a way to change into different characters, and then they were going around and killing Lucio. Well, that, my friends, that is not okay. And Jeff Kaplan says...
Jeff Kaplan
said, no, fame. You know what? That's against the terms of service. That's not what this mode was meant to do, and if you're going to keep doing it, you're going to pay. Some people have already gotten banned for it.
Which seems extreme. I bet there's people out there that are like, everything's been fine, but now this seems like a little much. All they did was switch characters. This is the trick. If you're online playing against other people and you do something that ruins their experience, Blizzard's going to come after you.
That's it.
Like it's not hard to tell. Like, I just changed characters, and then whatever I play.
Okay, but you're not supposed to.
You ruin the game for somebody, and Blizzard's is siding with those people for now. Try back later. Maybe they'll.
No, and ultimately, people may think it's overzealous, but to me, this is right in line with what they said they were going to do.
Yep, and they've been doing.
And I'm not going to lie about it. I'm okay with it. Play the game the way they built the damn game. Like that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, hey, we don't like FaceTime, so we break it. But Apple's not going to ban us. But if you play our game, we're going to ban you.
FaceTime issues.
Again. So, basically, the end result here is just don't screw around online.
Hey, this is what we get for recording during peak usage hours, huh?
Probably. I did finish that whole thing, that line of conversation.
Awesome. I'm sure it was great. I agree with what you said.
Good.
Also, if you care, Overwatch is now topped 15 million players. That seems like a thing.
It's huge.
Still going. I'm almost, maybe a little surprised it's still growing, I guess. It seems like it would have plateaued.
I think this is we are saturated with games in the FPS versus genre, and for a game like this to have the legs it has, I think it's bringing in people that are coming from different FPS games. It's definitely getting mobile players. I mean, I hear about that all the time where LoL players and Dota players are really coming to play this. Yeah,
I guess it's reaching across the aisle a little bit.
A little bit.
Hopefully politics.
Hopefully those people are stop playing and having the attitude they have when they play their MOBAs.
I guess this doesn't count either. Like it says more than 50 million people are playing Overwatch. This might not count people that have dropped off since then. Like not 50 million active, just 15 million people total have at one
Either
point.
Way.
Logged in. Okay. Yeah, still, yeah. I guess that doesn't really
half the country
downplay that at all, does it? Okay, fair. Pokemon Go was the other game we played this week.
Mm-hmm.
There have been updates to Pokemon Go. It's become a better app for me anyways. Like I know there's
more
been
stable.
issues, but
less fun, more stable.
You think you're still in the less fun? I know a lot of people are.
I'm actually, like I said, I don't play the game that way, so it
I was
doesn't.
Say, for our usage, I feel like we're only reaping benefits here
no, it doesn't impact me in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
The actually, I will say the one frustrating thing is Niantic did say that they know there's a bug where Pokemon are now getting out of Pokeballs and running away, and they're taking more Pokeballs than they should. So that's a bug.
Like the Pidgey. That takes
freaking Pidgey
a zillion balls, because I didn't want to just catch him for no reason, because why not?
I didn't want to just catch him. I wanted to beat him down morally before I did.
Anyways, I guess the one thing that is making some waves, which I think we've talked about this a little bit, there were some third-party services that were using Pokemon Go, using the Pokemon Go servers, scraping the Pokemon Go servers.
Yeah, they were using APIs that they shouldn't have been using.
Yes.
Or using them the way they shouldn't have been using them, according to Niantic.
Well, so they were trying to do stuff that wasn't functioning correctly in the game, per se. You know, they were augmenting the game. Like, I don't think there should be an argument against that. It's just whether or not it's as intended by the developer.
I think they've just made the wrong decision. Number one, the worst decision is they decided to kill Pokevision, which, fine. I understand that. I understand the whole getting rid of the not wanting people to use your APIs to do that. That's fine. I don't agree with it, but whatever. I think my issue here is that they not only were like, okay, we don't want you doing that, but now we're also going to go ahead and just take the functionality out because you guys broke it, and now we just don't want you to use it.
And this is the functionality that let people track actual different Pokemons that they were trying to get.
The entire point of one of the things that is a huge point in Pokemon, not just the video game, but in the cartoons, was Ash going places to look for Pokemon in specific spots for specific Pokemon. Part of this was, I want to go search. I don't care about the 55,000 Pidgeys that are around. Let me go look for the Abra. But now we have the meter, but I don't even care about them. Like, I don't even look at it anymore because I don't know if those Pokemon are actually around me.
There's no way to tell in the game how to get to the ones that you don't have that are missing. It'll tell you if they're nearby, but what do you do from there?
And even there, are they actually nearby? Who knows?
Well, so I don't think this is something that Niantic doesn't want. I think this is going to come back at some point. This is.
So I'm sorry. Here's where the stupidity comes in.
Okay.
I'm annoyed that they were more and this is capitalism 101. They were more interested in getting the game out to every country they could than fixing it and making it work better. So instead of actually fixing it, they just removed functionality. Which they've said, there's lots of functionality that we haven't built into the game yet. But no, we're going to go and release the broken version everywhere because we can make money off of that. That is a simple money thing. The better thing to do is say, sorry Brazil, sorry China, sorry Japan, sorry anybody, sorry America. We're going to fix it, then we'll release it again.
Yeah, I don't know enough about what's going on. Nobody knows enough about what's going on behind closed doors there yet.
No, because Niantic refuses to actually talk to anybody.
They did. They're making steps in the right direction.
Their steps are piss poor. Those response. No,
well, because they removed that functionality from their press releases.
No, of actually being useful.
Can't see the steps anymore.
No, their press releases were, Pokevision, thanks for telling us that you love us. We appreciate that. But if you love us, why did you break our servers? So, you broke everything.
Okay.
There's absolutely
been a heartfelt letter from the developer of Pokevision.
That was their implication, just so you know.
Oh, no, I got it all here. In this letter, it is very heartfelt, but it's also very, talk capitalism 101. I don't want to downplay this, but it's dude stands to be a millionaire. Like if his third party app for Pokemon Go can be, he
wasn't making any money off of it.
Whatever. I don't. It's a completely
if he okay,
altruistic.
I'll say this.
Like there was no way he was going to make money on this. I don't know that.
Absolutely not. If the guy was actually going to make money off of it, then I would 100% be behind Niantic and saying you can't do that. That's fine.
He had
because
no
at that
like
point,
he didn't have ads. He didn't have. It's not like he couldn't have built in ad space. Anyways, that's too many what ifs. I get he wrote this letter. Also, I guess maybe the part of it that is a little. He says that people need it. Like he draws a line between need and want, and he lands very securely on the need line and says that people need this, and that he also makes some overtures towards. I forget that this is hurting their business model and stuff like that. That's fine. There's an argument to be made. I think what Niantic responded was also very telling. And I guess I guess you can see it both ways. Sure, there was, like you said, it's business 101, maybe a little selfish on their end, but they
and they have every right to be. And yeah, the odds are they're not gonna feel too much of a financial impact here. No. Yeah, they had to get there were some refunds given, but the mass majority of people. I mean, I fully disagree with purchasing anything in this game ever. Period. Never ever give them money. There is zero reason to do so.
Well, it's still raking in like $1 million a day or something like that. So whatever.
Just absolutely bananas.
Nuts,
like
right?
That's how important. But again, I am also I understand the need and the love for money. I am a huge supporter of money. I like it myself.
I've heard of it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I'd like to see some.
Anyways, they released plenty of information that's like, look at our server load. Look what all these scrapers were doing to us. Look at the difference it made when we shut them down. That's what allowed us to go release in these other countries, which I get what you're saying. Like they could have just not released in those other countries. They have also done at least 3 updates, I want to say, to the iOS app that I've noticed, 'cause that's what I use, that have improved it. Like I said, it's a usable app now. Like it's noticeably better.
I can log in almost every time. I don't get booted out.
Exactly, right?
That's fine. That's great.
Well, I mean,
you know what? Who
knows what's going to happen?
I don't know. All I know is right now I just want to curl up into a little ball and go sailing through weird flying brain creatures and into gross, nasty, just gooey puddles of stuff.
Let's go sailing through this news item. How about that? It's called AM2R, stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake, which is a remake of Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, which came out on the Game Boy.
Yeah, Game Boy did it.
All right.
I don't know. Never played it.
It got put out, and then Nintendo filed a DMCA claim or Millennium Copyright, whatever.
Of course they did.
And it's been taken down, which is kind of obvious. Like,
shocker.
I feel like, that was going to happen. I felt maybe it was just worth mentioning because I think Nintendo is so unplugged that, like, why couldn't they have told these guys like a million years away? Like, were they just waiting for them to cross the line? Well, like they have just such a lack of involvement and kind of out of touchness with this whole.
So this is one of those things where I understand that oftentimes a DMCA is claimed because they don't want you damaging their brand.
No, but absolutely.
But maybe Nintendo should be playing this and deciding if it's actually damaging the brand or if it's just a big fan love to the brand.
Well, which is the other thing.
Right.
Like, be Valve, right? And I know Nintendo in no world is ever going to move as quickly or as nimbly as Valve, but adopt these guys. Like, there are so many people trying to fill these holes that Nintendo not only doesn't fill, but kind of ignores, right? It's just not part of their machine. Bring these guys in. There's got to be some halfway for the company that's neglecting this area more than maybe any other. Do something else rather than just.
And I mean, just think there are millions of programmers out there who grew up emulating and building and redesigning and rebuilding Nintendo games. You've got millions of designers out there, millions of people who can make these things happen and make them excellent. And all they need is Nintendo to either say, do it, or, hey, we'll hire you.
Right.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I agree with you. I think Valve is quintessential perfect company for that.
And I guess that could still happen.
It won't.
Maybe this is the first step
Nope.
in, let's do this right.
It is
No?
not.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably
It's
not.
Nintendo.
The only thing that kind of makes sense is they have their own Metroid Prime Federation Force coming out on 3DS later this month. So maybe that had something to do with it, that they don't want people
playing a better
confusing
Metroid
that
game
with a good Metroid game. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Evolve.
It's evolving.
The Evolve.
They did.
What are they called? Stage 2?
Sheer Madness.
Phase
It's
2. This is called
Stage
Sheer
2.
Madness. Yes. Sheer to Madness 3.
.org.
I didn't know this was happening, but as a part of this, the headline I saw was just that they're releasing a new hunter, which is Quantum Kyra? Kyra.
Koira.
It's loaded with Chimera.
Loaded with Chimera.
They've released a quantum version of her, which gives her a proton field, regeneration field. Those can stack. Neutron barrier, a generous 2 field. It's a new hunter. But I guess the bigger thing here was I didn't know they were doing this Sheer Madness thing. It's a 5 updates over 5 weeks that will add 3 additional character adaptations, 3 new map variants. What time is it?
Veriments. 6 o'clock.
A new cooperative game mode and community requested features and quality of life improvements.
Yeah, they also gained we talked about this. They gained a ton of players when they did Stage 2, and they've actually retained quite a few. It has not.
Really?
They have not had the huge drop off
Cool.
that may have been expected. They've actually retained quite a bit. So we may be seeing a legitimate second life here for Evolve, which would be great.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. I would be interested. Throw a couple new achievements in there. I'll check it out.
You will. You might.
Actually, I just sold my game on eBay.
You did.
But it's free to play now.
But it is. But not on the Xbox.
It's all working out.
Speaking of new achievements, I am willing to bet.
Are there new achievements?
I'm willing to bet there will be. Rocket League is releasing a new mode called Rumble. There was a trailer out. Looks like a lot of goofy fun. I saw there were like
looks great.
Spring-loaded boots that were kicking people or punching or boxing gloves. And I mean, it basically looks like the goofiest version of like the Joker's idea of Rocket League without death.
Throws a little kart racing or what was the PlayStation 4-player car combat?
Oh no, you're not thinking of Mod Nation Racers?
Metal Gear?
Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal.
Twisted, thank you. Yes, Twisted Metal. Metal Gear.
Yeah. A little bit.
Maybe it'll take off.
It feels a little Twisted Metal-y without being quite as Jaffy.
But yeah, you can get the boot where you kick an opponent's car. Disruptor forces an opponent to drive uncontrollably. Freezer freezes the ball. The grappling hook looks fun.
It does.
Like it's totally got some Crackdown look to it. Like because they were doing weird stuff. Like you can do so much stuff with that. Like pull the ball to you, pull you to the ball, get in the goal, pull the ball in the goal.
Pull yourself out of cars.
Yeah.
It looks like fun.
Anyways, there's some other ones, but yeah, looks like fun. We're gonna be playing this.
If I could, I gotta say that I think Psyonix has definitely jumped into that tier of developer for me, where I don't know that I always love everything they do. They're not like Remedy in that respect, but I appreciate how much they support the hell out of the community and the game itself. They clearly listen. They love this game, and it's really fun to see.
Meaningful improvements.
Yeah.
Like often. They're not just, sitting back and enjoying the money for a while there. They're still doing
I love that
stuff. Yeah.
I love that
totally.
Rocket League has just been, it's growing and growing and growing, and I can see them getting a couple more game modes out of this, if not more.
Yeah.
So
this is coming with a game mode for sure. That's
right.
The Rumble.
I just mean after this, like I can see other. I can't wait for baseball and cricket and shuffle puck. That's coming out in September, by the way.
Yes.
Also in September, on the 20th.
September 20th.
To be exact.
You are?
Destiny's Rise of Iron.
Yes.
You know what I'll be doing on September 20th? Playing No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
They did detail a bunch of stuff. It sounds like Destiny.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm gonna play this eventually, anyways. Whatever. 8 new artifacts. The artifacts have new abilities. like stuff that's been built into the armor, like always. But I guess there's
I totally don't
new
I
ones.
don't remember anything about the artifacts.
One of them you can melee enemies, and it turns them to your side, and they'll help you, etc. Whatever. Also, cosmetic ornaments is what they're calling them. It's ways that you can change the geometry of the armor or enhance the geometry and appearance of individual armor pieces. It's coming from a Polygon article. And also the main thing I thought was super interesting is that the actual light level is going up to 385.
Until
50.
That's going up to 385 until they release the hard mode version of the raid. The new raid will drop like 3 days after the release of Rise of Iron. When they release hard mode for it, it's going to bump up to 400.
Yeah, which is freaking 65
I don't see a point.
More points. Like it's
more grinding.
I guess, yeah.
It's more, hey, you know what's cool about the Rise of Iron? They're going to bump it up to 400 so you can go back and you'd be like, man, all this new Rise of Iron content is cool, but I could really go for killing the stupid thing on the first planet you spawn on again for the billionth time.
There are, because a lot of this, the Plague Lands is taking place on Earth. Yeah, no, there's missions that take you back to the beginning area that has been fully changed.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that once you've finished all of that, you're just going to go back to the same 5 missions that you were playing before because they're not going to update any of their crap.
No. Well, it's going to have snow on it.
Woo! Take me to Hoth.
Also, there's a new Quake Champions gameplay trailer out there.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty fun. No, not. You're still the same reservations from last time.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Like, it looks cool. Right. It looks great. I love.
It does look cool.
I love the look of Quake. I love the weird, like, the eyeballs and stuff that are like that. The weird eyeball and the thing that's all moving around.
They're doing all that right.
Yeah, I love all that. It's not. I don't want that.
There is a quote here from Willits. What's the dude's first name?
Jeremy.
Yeah, you know what? Willits is a good one name. He's from Willits. This is what Willits says.
Willits?
Quote, no loadouts, no limit to the amount of guns you can carry.
Yep.
Time the weapon pickups or kill your opponents. That's how you get weapons in a Quake game.
Yeah, which is, and that's been Quake since day one.
Smart.
Right. So that's fine. They are adding, again, I am just not down with the whole ability thing in Quake. And also, the other thing I will mention, this game, if you're playing it on a console, don't. This is not... no, I'm not even kidding. This game will never feel good on a console. It's never...
Well,
it is... No. Trust
it'll get
me.
a following, dude.
Here's why. Of course it will, because there are people that
don't play
PC.
I mean, you're just...
But there's a major aspect to this game that never works on a console, and it ain't going to work here, and that's rocket jumping. You have to be able to in Quake. If you can't rocket jump, you're dead.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of rocket jumping in this trailer.
Uh-huh. And you can't. And that was every Quake.
I agree. It's still going to come out on the console, and a lot of people are going to play.
It's probably going to feel like hot trash. No, I don't know. It just is not doing anything for me, though. I'm just not.
No, I got it. That's cool. It's not like I'm going to get it.
I know you're not. Because that's even less Overwatchy for you.
No, yeah. I'll still be working on Overwatch at this point. Prey got a new trailer, or at least the game formerly known as Prey.
Yes.
It's still Prey. It's just Prey.
Prey.
It's Pray. What they're changing it to.
I have some complicated thoughts about this.
Okay.
My biggest issue with this is so they went out of their way to say it's not a remake, it's not a sequel, it's a reimagining.
Yeah. They took the name.
One of the things that and I would have been fine if they did that, but I really wish they would have kept that main character from the first game. The main reason, because Tommy was interesting. He was a Native American character, and not only that, he was voiced.
Oh hi, aliens!
He was voiced by a Native American actor. The other characters in the game were voiced by.
Was he voiced by the Native American actor?
There are at least like 5.
But there's one, the dude from Smoke Signals.
It was not Graham Greene.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
I don't even know his name.
Graham Greene's the older.
He's the Native American Graham Greene. Was that the dude who was in?
He was in Dances with Wolves and Maverick and.
Yeah. He plays the father in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Maybe I haven't seen that show
because
in a while.
Jenna
Maroney.
Maroney's character has Native American parents.
It might be him.
All right.
But it's not him.
Okay.
But one of the things that for me was cool about that game was they used actual Cherokee. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I'm almost certain it was Cherokee, but it could have been a different tribe. They used actual mythology and like they had cultural references that were real, and the actor who did the voice of Tommy, he actually talked about how he not only gave them suggestions for things to make that more to make the game more culturally correct, and that they listened, but that he was impressed with how they approached the game in the first place. And what bothers me about this is, tell me another game where a Native American is your main character.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen, man.
No,
it's everywhere. This is
a great.
Hollywood's the same way. There's just not.
No, but this is what and it is. It is, of course, representation matters, and this is a case where I'm actually a little bothered by the fact that they got rid of that aspect of it, because I thought that aspect made Prey work. Now, this is going to be completely separate, and the gameplay trailer shows that very clearly. This is not an alien thing. This is these are weird inky ghost things, and there are weird inky spider things that kind of crawl along and then they
kind
disappear.
Of a Dead Space vibe, actually.
More of a Dead Space vibe than a Prey vibe, for sure. Agreed. Yeah.
Prey had way more of a Doom vibe. The original game, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's part and parcel with just taking the name. Like, they came out with that thing. They literally just took the name, which, again, I don't know why, because I feel like I'd be interested in this IP no matter what they called it, because it's showing real well.
Way more interesting.
But it's kind of a bummer that they had to lose the Native American aspect, because I also totally dug that part in the original game.
And I thought that was interesting. So this is going to be another, and...
I watch they'll make the main dude Native American, probably. It'd be like a stupid throwaway.
No, his name is like Garrett or something, and he's clearly a gringo.
I'm trying to look it up, but it's not even... IMDb doesn't even have the first Prey game.
Yeah, it's not important.
Wikipedia, maybe?
But the gameplay trailer does look interesting. It actually... The other thing that kind of crept into my head a little bit was the darkness.
Sure.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I love that game, too. I never played the second one, but that first game was super fun.
Anyways, that's Prey. Tell me about Marcus Phoenix's tomatoes.
So the Gears of War Coalition dropped a 9-minute video that introduced some new characters or new enemies, and they're these robot things. I don't remember what they're called. The robots are kind of cool. It's different. It's something different for Gears of War. They fit in the game world, but they don't stand out as awkward and weird. They just stand out as something new in Gears of War. And
which is new for Gears of War 4. I feel like they haven't showed much like new ground in that game.
The only thing new I feel like I've seen is some characters and the murder animations.
And even then, like what's a new character when he's gonna play exactly like the rest of it's just that. Yeah.
But they at one point in the video they're at like the Fenix farm, which is definitely going to be my Crosby, Stills and Nash cover band name. And they're like, we've got to go, and of course, in John DiMaggio's Fenix voice, we got to go through the greenhouse. And
come on,
I can't do it. As they walk up to the greenhouse, there are these transport ships that are coming by, and he screams something out about how they're stepping on my tomatoes. And it was just like, I could not stop laughing at that. Like, that is perfect. And because I can imagine John DiMaggio in the studio going, all right, let's do this. Let's really knock this one out, guys.
They're stepping on my tomatoes.
Look at my garden.
So this game's probably going to be good. So there you go.
It might be.
Hey, let's do a new segment in the podcast now, forever.
Lightning round.
Now, this segment, you may remember from when did we actually do it? Was that our E3 cast or something like that?
No, this was when we were listing off all the Rock Band songs and all the songs that were coming out.
Yes, this is akin to that.
Yeah, that's
basically
we did that.
There's a bunch of headlines during the week that are kind of just one quickies that I feel like are worth mentioning, but we don't really need to talk about. So I'll give this time around anyways. I'll give the headline. You give the answer. Let's see how many you get right.
All right. I think... okay, I'm ready.
Telltale's Batman is broken on PC.
Just like Zack Snyder's ability to direct a DC film.
I need to get a ding sound, don't I? XCOM 2 for consoles is delayed to September 27th.
That sounds like an alien conspiracy to me.
Dead Rising 1, 2, and Off the Record remastered are out September 13th and 27th, respectively, for consoles this generation.
Take a picture. It'll last longer.
The Civ 6 tech tree will be voiced by none other than Sean Bean.
Rest in peace, Tech Tree.
Rocksmith 2014 is also getting remastered and will come out October of this year.
I'm excited for that.
All right. Okay. I feel like you did pretty good. I don't know how many you got right. We'll tally it up after the fact.
Yeah, add some dings. All right. So upcoming games, what's coming out? No Man's Sky. I'm going to double dip on this. Coming out for PC on the 12th.
You are going to double dip on this.
I am definitely mostly because there will be mod support eventually, and I am kind of curious to see what this game looks like in the fullest, most glorious graphical viewing I can. On the 16th, we've got a few Hitman Episode 4, Bangkok, Thailand. That sounds something. They did ask. Somebody tweeted at IO Interactive, who makes Hitman, and said, "Is there going to be a second season? Because this is season 1, and I think they've got one more episode coming. I think. I don't remember.
I want to say they were up for 6. This is the 4th. Yeah. So.
But the developers said we're aiming for 3 seasons. So if you guys love Hitman like I do, definitely help.
The one digital download you've got to
the one video game I've ever returned.
Yeah, okay. Right. They could go 3 seasons.
It could.
It seems to be going well for everybody else.
Also coming out August 16th, Grow Up, probably for multiple platforms.
This is the other new addition to the cast. What if we just don't talk about what platforms the games are coming out on? We're going to say the games are coming out. If it's a game you're interested in,
you'll figure it out.
Look it up.
Yeah. Inverses and Read-Only Memories.
I don't know anything about those last two.
Neither do I, but I like Read-Only Memories. It sounds like fun.
Actually, I lied. I know they're coming out this week.
Nice. On the 16th. So
now I know 2 things.
For up until our next podcast, there are games that will be played, and a majority of them will be No Man's Sky for me. I will play the Brookhaven Experiment this week, and I will play A Chair in the Room through the Vive because I've got to check them out. And I'm sure Overwatch will pop up in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll play some more Overwatch. I'll play it with you.
We may be streaming. Are we going to stream Lucio Ball on Thursday?
Yeah, let's do that. I don't know. Like, we go a full hour with Lucio Ball?
Probably not, but we can. Okay. We can work it.
Do some of it.
Yeah.
It's fun. We'll get more people in there too. We'll get one more person in there. I guess,
we'll do a couple rounds of it. See how we feel.
I'll also play more Wolfenstein. Also, I bought Hyperlight Drifter.
Ah, all right.
So I don't know. I doubt that's something I pop open this week. I'm more of a one game man.
You are.
But I have it now.
Excellent.
So I can talk about it like I'm going to play it every week and not. We continue to do instant grams.
They're like Teddy Grahams, but less delicious.
YouTube videos.
Those are
the
definitely
Monday
delicious.
video's up. Your Friday video's up. Friday, technically, in our week comes before Monday, so watch that first, then watch the Monday video.
But then watch the Friday video.
Yeah, then watch it again, probably. Yeah, just so it will make the Monday video make more sense in retrospect.
Bookend it.
It's a continuity. Just try to follow along.